So how does a story become a global phenomenon? I mean, truly massive. Well, a lot of the time, it all starts with a perfect first chapter. Today, we're going to break down the opening of One Piece and really dig into the anatomy of what makes this hero's origin so incredibly powerful.
You know, every epic journey has to begin somewhere, and usually it's somewhere totally ordinary. Our story kicks off right here, in this small, peaceful village. You've got windmills, some cows, a quiet little port. I mean, it's the very picture of tranquility. This is the normal world, right? The before picture, where a young kid's dreams have all the space in the world to run wild.
And then, into this quiet world, sail the pirates. This is where we meet our main players. First, there's this wide-eyed, super impressionable kid named Luffy, and then there's the charismatic pirate captain he completely idolizes, the one and only red-haired Shanks.
Now, what's so interesting about this whole setup is the conflict at its core. For Luffy, being a pirate is all about adventure, absolute freedom, and, big parties. But Shanks and his crew, as friendly as they seem, they represent something much harsher. They're the real deal, a world of genuine danger that a kid like Luffy just can't wrap his head around yet.
And, well, that blissful ignorance he's living in is about to be completely shattered. The story takes a sharp turn here, shifting from this fond memory to a sudden life-or-death crisis. This is the moment where the romantic idea of the sea gives way to its terrifying truth. So, after a run-in with some mountain bandits, Luffy gets thrown into the ocean. And just like that, in an instant, he's not an aspiring adventurer anymore. He's just a little kid, totally helpless in this vast, unforgiving water. Reality has just hit him like a ton of bricks.
And then, the sea shows its true face. This absolute monster just erupts from the depths. And look, it isn't another pirate or some human enemy. It's basically the ocean's raw, brutal indifference given a terrifying form. This is the reality of the adventure Luffy was dreaming about, and he is just completely unprepared for it.
Yeah, this single panel says it all, doesn't it? There's no clever comeback, no big plan. It's just the raw, primal sound of pure terror. The dream has officially become a nightmare.
All right, so what happens next is the moment that defines, well, everything. It's the absolute climax of this first chapter, and honestly, it's the bedrock for the entire series. This right here, this is where it all truly begins.
Luffy is literally about to be eaten. Just look at his face. He's screaming for help, completely powerless. This is it, the point of no return, where his entire childhood innocence is about to be swallowed whole. And then, in a flash, Shanks is there. He saves Luffy from the monster's jaws. You feel this moment of relief, like, phew. But then you see it. You notice Shanks is holding Luffy with his right arm, and his left arm is just gone.
And this is just a brilliant way to show that turning point. In that instant, Shanks stops being just a cool role model and becomes a true hero in Luffy's eyes. In this one, single, selfless act, he teaches Luffy what heroism actually is. It's not about being the strongest or the most famous, it's about sacrifice. It's about what you're willing to give up for what you value.
Okay, so now we get to the aftermath, which is just as important as the action itself. This is where the emotional weight of that sacrifice and the lesson that comes with it really, truly lands.
This contrast right here is just fantastic storytelling. I mean, look, on one side you have Luffy, who is just completely breaking down, absolutely wrecked by guilt and grief. And on the other side you have Shanks, who is so calm, so reassuring. He's not mad, he's not regretful, he understands the price you sometimes have to pay to protect the future.
And the whole point is just summed up perfectly in this one iconic line. Shanks just dismisses the loss of his arm, a devastating injury for anyone, to hammer home what really matters, Luffy's life. He literally traded a piece of himself for the promise of the future. So, this whole incident really solidifies one of the story's central themes. It shows us why Shanks wouldn't take Luffy with him yet. It's because the sea is this untamed, unpredictable force that you just can't control. True strength isn't about trying to dominate the ocean, it's about respecting its power and being willing to pay the price it demands.
And that leaves us with this final, really powerful question, doesn't it? An incredible debt has just been created. A boy's life has been saved, paid for with the limb of his hero. The entire journey we're about to go on is really an attempt to live up to that sacrifice, to build a future that's actually worthy of that incredible cost.